Up in the frozen cold, there are other stories to be told. Like 13 days before the sun, you might get a visit from the Yule Lads. The first of them was Sheepcoat Clod. He came as stiff as wood to prey upon the farmer's sheep as far as he could. He wished to suck the ewes, but it was no accident. He couldn't. He had stiff knees. Not too convenient. The second was Gollygawk. Gray his head and mine. He snuck into the cow barn from his cracky ravine. Hiding in the stalls, he would steal the milk, while the milkmaid gave the cowherd a meaningful smile. Stubby was the third called, a stunted little man. He watched for every chance to whisk off a pan, and scurrying away with it, he scraped off the bits that stuck to the bottom and brims, his favorite bits. The fourth was Spoonlicker. Like a spindle he was thin. He filled himself in clover when the cook wasn't in. Then stepped up, he grappled the stirring spoon with glee, holding it with both hands, for it was slippery. Hot Scraper, the fifth one, was a funny sort of chap. When kids were given scrapings, he'd come to the door and tap. And they would all rush to see if there really was a guest. Then he hurried to the pot and had the scraping fest. Bulllicker, the sixth one, was shockingly ill-bred, for underneath his bed-sheets he stuck his ugly head. And when the bowls were left to be licked by a dog or cat, he snatched them up for himself. He was sure good at that. The seventh was Doorslammer, a sorry, vulgar chap. When people in the twilight would try to take a little nap, he was happy as a lark with the havoc he could wreak, slamming doors and hearing hinges on them squeak. Sugar Gobbler, the eighth, was an awful stupid bloke. He lambasted the skirt tub till the lid on it broke. Then he stood there gobbling, his greed was well known, until about to burst he would bleat, howl, and groan. The ninth was Sausage Swiper, a shifty little pilferer. He climbed into the rafters and raided food from there. Sitting on a crossbeam in soot and in smoke, he fed himself on sausage, fit for gentlefolk. The 10th was Window Peeper, a weird little twit, who stepped up to the window and stole a peek through it. And whatever was inside to which his eye was drawn, he most likely attempted to take later on. 11th was Door Sniffer, a doltish lad and gross. He never got a cold, yet had a huge and sensitive nose. He caught the scent of lace bread while leagues away still, and ran towards it weightless as wind over dale and hill. Meat Hook, the 12th one, his talent would display. As soon as he arrived on St. Tholic's day, he snagged himself a morsel of meat of any sort, although his hook at times was a tiny bit too short. The 13th was Candlebeggar. 'Twas cold, I believe, if he was not the last of the lot on Christmas Eve. He trailed after the little ones who, like happy sprites, ran about the farm with their fine tallow lights. I apologize now for having to speak it all in English. I am not that good at speaking different languages. But still, I do like a good story.